This is First GenXers.
What is up, y'all? What is up? What is up? It is I, the one and only Dark Lord 100, back again for round two after doing the Cheap Pop podcast earlier, and I am back with the one and only Miss O'Malley. What's up, Mama?
What's up?
She is coming from a location undisclosed, high above Chavez Stadium in LA. Guys. I'll say it straight out. There's not going to be any football talk really this day because there isn't really much to talk about in the football world today. So today we are kicking off with other sports talk. That's right, where we talk about sports other than football or basketball. And this week it is basketball, but of the college persuasion. So far, the tournament has been, I would say, amazing. I know I keep getting notifications that at least a couple of top teams came close to losing, and I know we did have an upset in the earlier rounds with number 11 Texas making it all the way to like the Sweet 16, I believe.
Well, is it really then an upset if they continue on to that point?
I agree. That's part of the reason why I've kind of always had an issue with the whole Cinderella thing. Like, if a 16 seed beats a 1 seed, a 3 seed, and a 5 seed to get to the Final Four, which has never happened, but if it did happen, how is that an underdog story? Sounds to me like they belong to be there.
That's a team to me whose seeding didn't adequately say who the team was. We've seen that in the NBA in years past where, I mean, we even saw it last year and the year before where the seeding for the Warriors was not indicative of who they were as a team, right? Because it had to do with periods of time of injuries and other people out and stuff like that. So some of it, and honestly, some of this seeding, some of these teams I feel like are emotionally seeded versus legitimately seeded because we can't have a Duke or a Arizona or a UConn in a low seed or a high, however you want to look.
Yeah, they normally don't go any below, like those teams very rarely ever get seeded below like 7-8,
right?
Like at worst,
right?
I do agree with you that I think that as much as conference prestige, for lack of a better way to say it, factors into where people are seated, I think the quality of team, you have a 30-game sample size, a 30-plus game sample size with just about every team. So if they won their conference and they're good enough to get in, then their seeding should be based on how good of a team they are, not necessarily based on, you won the Southwest East, upside down conference, so you get a 12 seed, but if that
in the okie doke in the
if that team is played like the best team in basketball all year, then they won their conference and they deserve a higher seed. But those higher seeds, it almost feels like they're reserved for like Big Ten teams, ACC teams, the power basketball conferences, as opposed to really
very much like BCS bowl game bullshit.
Yes. Well, because I think back to Davidson, George Mason, all of those teams really seemed like they were just ranked too low. is really what it was. It wasn't that they were some spectacular team that only started playing well, in the tournament. If you watch their whole season, they were a good team all season. Probably could have upset some of the teams that they played in the tournament, except those teams really didn't want to play them during the regular season, so they didn't book the games. But yeah, so one of the subjects I will bring up though is that there was an argument going around about are Cinderella's dead? Like did the NIL bring an end to Cinderellas? Because now the good players that would go to some of the mid-major teams are now leaving for some of the major teams, the top major teams, because they can make more money in the NIL with those teams than they can with the mid-major teams.
Well, in theory, one would think that they could, but if they're getting more playing time and more exposure being the big fish in a little pond versus being the little fish in a big pond, that argument in practice doesn't necessarily track, because they may not be the person at one of those top 10 basketball schools, but they may be Steph Curry at Davidson. Can't hear you.
Here, how about that?
Ah, yes.
Much better. Sorry, I accidentally hit the mute button.
That's okay. It happens. I do that when I'm wearing my AirPods on occasion. I still don't know which taps do what. Half the time I disconnect the call when I'm just trying to adjust my AirPod.
You're like, no, I didn't want to talk to anybody right now.
Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
No, I said that one of the things that was talked about, like the other day on First Take, they were sitting there talking about is it the death? And I saw a skit on it on Facebook as well. But is the NIL the death of the mid major? And like I talked about before I muted myself, like I think to an extent, yeah, but I thought the point of playing college basketball was to try to make it to the pros, because that's where you make the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it would make more sense to me to go be a big fish at a mid major than to be the third guy on the bench at Duke. Like, I get it. Duke is more prestige. More NBA players come out of Duke. I get that. But Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, like all of these guys came from mid majors.
Yeah.
Well,
and some of them weren't even quite mid majors before they went there.
Yep.
And those players made those schools in a way.
Yep. These guys, go ahead.
Well, and I mean, we're honestly, and this is where my argument came from, right? Is because we're actually seeing the opposite in football. Right? Yeah. Is that there's kids that will go to the smaller schools because they're still getting the NIL and all of that, and fine. But I also think that it's a much bigger leap from college football to college or to NFL football versus college basketball to NBA basketball or to overseas basketball or things like that. So it is a little bit different. I get that.
Well, that would be why, like the main difference that we're speaking of is that the reason why you don't go straight to the NFL from college or from high school football is because like size wise, like you can't, you're not going to be able to mess with the guys that are at the pro level and size and speed. They say the game, it takes a minute to get used to the speed of the game at the pro level. And it would take a lot, like, and as big and muscular as you may be, and you may think you are, unless you are Michael Orr size and friggin' what was the name of that movie? Blindside.
Blindside.
Unless you're his side in high school, you're not making the jump.
Well, But I mean, even then, he was just big, not conditioned in the way that the NFL players are. Like, the size is only part of it. But yes, exactly that. Like, that's one of the reasons why they're so concerned about size going into the NFL.
Yeah, and 100%. All right, so let's look at it like this. The regional final results took place. The men's Final Four field is nearly set. So far, we have Arizona beat Purdue. We have Illinois dropping Iowa. Michigan, number 1 seed Michigan, beating Tennessee. And Duke and UConn is in progress. Now, this is what we were just talking about: upsets. People pulling off upsets. Number 9 Iowa reached the Elite Eight after knocking off only to lose to Illinois after knocking off number 1 Florida and number 4 Nebraska. Now, that doesn't tell me that Iowa went on a lucky run. That tells me Iowa was the better team than the 3 of them. Iowa maybe shouldn't have been a 9 seed. Just saying. Texas made a deep run from the first 4 to the Sweet 16. Now that is one of the things that I like, that I'm glad that they have now, because you have this story. What are your thoughts on this, about the little play-in tournament where they have little games to decide who's going to go into certain slots? Like sometimes it's a 16 seed, sometimes it's an 11 seed, and other brackets like it's a 12 seed. But they added like a few. Like I think it's actually, what was it? March Madness was originally 65 teams. I think it's closer to 70 now that actually get a bid, but a few of them have to play their way in. But Texas made a run from the first 4, which is what the tournament is called, to get into the spot in the NCAA tournament to the Sweet 16. So no other team that came in through one of the first 4 games has made it that deep.
I mean, that's an interesting way to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of be like,
things as simple as possible.
It would kind of be like going from the play-in tournament to the NBA finals.
Okay.
Like, okay, like I feel you. Like I'm like, okay, like that's something. Like that's definitely a great story. Is it meaningful unless they win the championship? Not to me. Like if they fall short at the conference championship or something like that, it's like, all right, that was a nice run, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that's the answer.
yeah.
There needs to be an answer, but I'm not sure that's it.
How about again? Well, no, that's football. We didn't already got too many. Over half the teams in college basketball make the NCAA tournament. There are approximately 128 Division I teams, and 69, almost 70 of them make the NCAA tournament every year, including the play-in tournament.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, yeah, like I said, once you get to the point where more than half of your league makes the postseason, yeah. And this is a problem to me in all sports.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, and I keep saying there needs to be a happy medium between what there is in college football right now and what there is in college basketball. A happy medium in there somewhere. But
12 out of 100 ain't bad.
March Madness, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about making money.
Right.
So they're going to try to have as many as possible.
Yes. Like it's funny. I say this to people on a regular basis on Facebook and in other places, but like I don't understand people's problems with businesses being businesses. When businesses fuck over the little guy to make more money, people are like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, you didn't see that coming? Like, I'm not saying it makes it right, but like, can we please not act surprised? Like we didn't know that the business was going to act like a business.
A multi-billion-dollar business, right? Yep. It's always weird where the outrage comes at too.
Yeah.
Save me your fake outrage and pearl clutching, folks, please, because.
Yeah, I can do without it. I can live without it. All right. So we also saw the women's bracket take shape this week, and it includes new faces telling an old story. UConn has won 50 something straight games and are headed to their 25th consecutive Final Four. Is there a Final Four if UConn is not involved?
No, not at this point. Did the team die in a plane crash?
Just cancel the tournament. Like,
right.
Just cancel it all.
Right.
Like,
send out the search party, find the yellow jackets, do whatever you need to do.
And here's the problem that I will always have for the rest of my natural life. Outside of the realm of women's basketball. Hey, what's up, Wood? Thanks for joining us, brother. I want to say, people need to give Gino Auriemma his props, period. Like, let's give this man his due. Like, he's been one of the most dominant, and I mean as one of the most dominant coaches in basketball. Saying women's basketball, like the man has led multiple perfect seasons. He has multiple national championships, and he has recruited his ass off to make sure he has one of the most dominant teams in the country every year.
Mm-hmm. And still, Coach K gets more respect on his name.
What's up?
I said, and still, Coach K gets more respect on his name.
Yeah. I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like I get why people praise Coach K, but why you're not praising Gino right alongside him is beyond me. Sarah Vanderveer, like another great coach that should have received a lot more credit than what she got.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like it's the umbrella, like the women's sports thing. Like it's women's sports, so it's not as important. Bullshit. Like these women, especially in college basketball, I would say women's college basketball is just as competitive as men's, as far as difficulty level and coaching. And Gino seems to be amongst those top 2 or 3 coaches every single year. Give this man his credit. He is basically the John Wooden of women's basketball. Like the way his teams have dominated. So let's give his credit where it's due. Like, and here we are. Here we sit again. Don't they own the record for longest win streak?
Yes, like they do, and they're also more decorated. In fact, they've won twice as many national championships as the men's team has.
They are just
in less amount of time, too. By the way.
Yeah. So let's give Gino his credit. UConn may be on their way to get another national championship this year because it looks yet again as if UConn has the best team in women's college basketball this year.
I mean, he almost feels like the Bill Belichick of women's basketball. I hate that I actually just said that. But I mean the fact that he had the formula until he didn't, right? Yep. Because it wasn't all Tom Brady. Tom Brady excelled because of Bill Belichick's system.
I think it's both. I think Tom Brady excelled because of Josh McDaniels' system, but I think Bill Belichick was the perfect yang to Tom's yin. Like he was the perfect yang because he could, again, this is like I say with Shanahan. When you stick Shanahan with a defensive coordinator that can run the defense without Shanahan having to look over him or be a part of that at all, and he can just focus on the offense, the Niners run at their peak. When Bill Belichick was able to only focus on the defensive game plan because he knew Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady had the offensive game plan down, he didn't have to worry about that side. That was when he was at his best. I think they needed each other. I think Tom, without those great defenses, doesn't put up the numbers and doesn't have the resume that he has. But those New England teams, even with those defenses, without Tom Brady playing offense or playing quarterback, they're nothing but they're the Cleveland Browns this year. They're a team with a great defensive team with an above average offense.
I don't know if I would go that far. And the reason why is because on the seasons where Tom was out or out for only a portion of the season, right? Yeah. Because of the system that Bill Belichick had in place.
Yeah.
It was easier for someone to come in and at least hold it down until Tom got back. Whereas a different coach, a different system, that doesn't happen as easy.
Right. Well, I look at it like this. Like I'll use a prime example of what you just talked about, the Matt Castle season, when Tom Brady went out, the game that changed how quarterbacks are looked at in football forever because he got hurt game one. But that season, they went 11-5 with Matt Castle, but that team was not winning a Super Bowl. Like it did. Like there was no way that team was going to win a Super Bowl. And that defense played extremely well.
Hence why I did admit held it together until Tom got back. Right?
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we saw with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yes.
I think that's the prime example of where that worked very well.
The system worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes.
And by all of that, I really just meant that the coach has found the formula.
Right. To win.
Yes.
Yeah. Gino figured it out 30 years ago and let everybody, didn't tell everybody. He just let them all figure it out on their own. But 100%, like that's a great analogy. But I hope that Gino gets himself another one. I would say he deserves it. It wouldn't surprise me if he leads UConn to another great dominant team. The man's one hell of a recruiter. He's one hell of a coach. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break, about 4 minutes or so, and then we will be back and we will be talking some NBA. Yeah, you didn't mishear me. National Basketball Association vote, because there is some going on there. Some good, some bad, but it's all the same. We'll see y'all on the flip side of the break. This has been The Classroom. We'll be back. Peace.
We back at it. Yep, we still doing it. Poetic beat. First GenXers. Gia. Let's get it, y'all. Come on. We back in the building. It's been a long time cooking in the soup kitchen. And I'm chilling with the same. Dropping these beats won't stop, nope, I can't. Let me get up in the lab, turn it up. Game on with the First GenXers. What's up? Let's flip on the Switch or the Xbox and get up in my zone, I'm pounding. Let me clear my throat for a minute. Shout out to my folks while I'm in it. It ain't nothing but love, it's babe business. I really don't know what's over, who ain't feeling this. And this is only the beginning. Now versus then, this is something for the chillin'. Poetic got the joints like McDonald's. I'm loving it. It's the First GenXers. We're now rocking with Poetic Beats. This is the First GenXers production. Get your PlayStations out. Get your Xbox out. Get your Switch out. Let's get it in, y'all. Holla back.
Got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me. I'ma stay on my shit.
Adams family dynamic between Pugsley and Wednesday. Very true.
Yeah.
Well, I always temper this because I think
I did not like the proceeding caution tagline.
I've also seen what Chase Center looks like when the Valkyries are fucking playing, so fuck all of you. Because Chase Center is packed no matter what's going on.
All right, and we are back. Well, I guess let me check the stats. From what I just heard, Duke in the men's tournament, Duke was dropped by UConn 73-72 on a last-second shot by Braylon Mullins.
Okay.
Wow. This ain't Coach K's Duke, is it?
Nope.
It's not Coach K's Duke anymore. Congratulations to the UConn Huskies, men and women, for I don't know how many times they've done it, but however many years they've done it, they're both in the Final Four. So congratulations to that school. I remember what was that, like in the 2010s or the early 2000s, when they both won the title in the same year.
I think it was the 2010s.
Was it the 2010s? Because I'm just like, I 100% am all for
both actually. They've done it
really?
twice, in 2004 and 2014.
Wow.
Yep.
That school has benefited from Gino Auriemma 100%. Like the fact of him being there.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah, the men and the women's. It's not Kevin Ollie anymore, right? Over at UConn on the men's side. I remember it used to be Kevin Ollie.
I don't think it is anymore. Dan Hurley.
Dan Hurley. Okay, I knew it was somebody from the NBA. But congratulations to Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies, the men's team, for knocking off Duke. Now we are going to get into some basketball talk. Yay! All right, so week 23 has produced some interesting moments. We are down to about the last 2 weeks of basketball in the regular season before we get to the play-in in the playoffs. Steph's going to be reevaluated, I think, tomorrow. Because they're good. It looks like they're locked for the play-in. But Steve Kerr said if he's not ready, Steph won't be coming back for the play-in, because he would want him to have at least 1 or 2 games to ramp up into playing in the play-in tournament. So if Steph ain't back by the end of this upcoming week, odds are good he won't be
Okay,
back.
yes. So we have clinched a play-in spot, but realistically, barely.
Yeah.
First of all, okay, well, maybe not barely, because the Grizzlies are behind us by 11 games. But outside of that, I mean, I get it. But if we're being honest and realistic here, okay, great, we made the play-in. But even with Steph back, is this we're going to make a run to the championship caliber team?
That's the big question. And the reason why I say that's the big question and not a definitive no is because if you can get Draymond, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, and Steph all on the court healthy, I think that's a dangerous squad that a lot of teams in the West are going to struggle with.
Bro, that's the biggest if possible.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you already got Draymond. You already got Al Horford. Well, no, Al Horford's out right now too. But you got Draymond and Kristaps. And the Warriors did win 3 straight, but they play Denver tonight, so we'll see if that keeps going. Well, I'll say, so you add Steph to Kristaps, and I think that makes an interesting combination that could push some teams. Are they going to go like KD style and sweep through the playoffs? Oh no. This is a team that, in all honesty, if they make it any further than making it just out of the first round and maybe winning a game or two in the second round, I would be surprised. But on paper, does it look like a team that could probably do some damage? Yeah, I'll give them a little bit of credit. Like I said, you get those four on the court healthy, I think that's a dangerous team that a lot of teams wouldn't know what to do. But it's just a matter of if all four are going to be healthy. Because this Warriors squad is – are we sure that the Warriors practice facility isn't in Santa Clara near the
right?
Near the whatchamacallit? Because like the way they've been dealing with injuries the past 2 years is just killing me. So but in other stories in the NBA, we have Victor Wembanyama making his push to be the first player since Michael Jordan to win the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year, because word has it he has the DOP or DVOI locked down, and he's making a serious push for MVP. I think it's a two-man race between him and not Jason Tatum, but Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
Because with the Jaylen Brown, just because nobody expected the Celtics to be here after losing Tatum. And here we sit. I think the Celtics just clinched the top 6 seed tonight or today. So nobody expected the Celtics to be here, but
except for maybe Jaylen.
Yeah, except for maybe Jaylen. Yeah,
because he's sure been playing like it.
Former Cal guy, man. He's got that grit to him. But Wemby, I don't know. Like Wemby is just as important. The Spurs are not the team that they are today. They are definitely not fighting for a 2 seed without Wemby. You know, like no offense to everybody else on that team, because I think they have like something like 6 first-round draft picks on that roster. Like it's insane. But like they're kind of like Oklahoma City in that way. They got a lot of youth.
Yeah, and I mean they're both neck and neck with where their teams are sitting right now. I mean, granted, yes, the Spurs have won like 6 more games than the Celtics, but they're both currently in the number 2 slot. So I mean, the argument can be made right now for either one.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. We're going to have to see how the rest of this season shakes out. I still think that the things that are counted that determine whether or not you win the MVP should stop as soon as the postseason starts. Like how well or bad your team does in the postseason should not affect your MVP status, because MVP is supposed to be a regular season trophy. They have a trophy
for in that context, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. You know, so I'm like it should stop there. Wemby is the leader.
Except for one can argue though that that's true all the way up to the finals.
Fair enough.
Because it's usually the finals MVP is just in the context of the finals.
Right. So you would say everything up to the finals then, because the finals have its own MVP.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. Or you can give me a well, technically now, unfortunately, the conference championships have their own MVP now too.
Isn't the Western Conference the Magic Johnson one? Is that the one that's the Magic? Okay, yeah, that's right.
I want to say the Eastern Conference is the Bill Russell.
Then I'm not against ending it at the end of the season. I'm not.
Well, I know. I was just saying, like
up until the conference, like who brings up to that point? But there's more important things that we need to do, which is like reset the fouls and the technicals and all that shit at each step of the playoffs, not just reset it at the end of the season.
Oh, another subject we could chat about here real quick, not real quick, but in general is there's been arguments of people bitching about the fact that the 65 game thing. We talked about this a little bit a couple of weeks ago with the Cade Cunningham situation. And I've been seeing more consistent and whining about it, of people complaining about 65 games is they need to lower it because or not count injury games, but count load management games. Basically, they say they want it to only affect those who load manage. So if you take a game off without an injury, that game counts against your 65 game total. But if you're out with an actual injury for like 12 games, those games don't count against your 65 game total. And I'm like, I think you're making it too complicated. It just needs to be 65 games straight across the board.
Yeah, because I mean, part of that is, yes, are there fluke injuries? Are there other things that happen? All of that. Absolutely. But we don't give consolation prizes to the teams that are in the playoffs when that shit happens. Yep. Right? Like, that's part of your job, is being on the court. And so if you're not on the court, even if you had a stellar season, if you are not finishing out the season, or you missed a big chunk of the middle of the season. Yeah. Like if you missed, if you got hurt in October and didn't come back till March, like bro, like, no, you shouldn't be competing no matter how well you played in October and in March. You don't deserve to be in the MVP hunt because you didn't play the bulk of the season. And I mean, let's be honest, it's also how they use that in a way to structure penalties and punishments as well. They did that. That was why Ja Morant's suspension was what it was, because then he wouldn't have been able, one of the reasons why, so that he couldn't come back and then, yeah, no, 100%. Like, and here's the thing about it. I think 65 is fair because it allows you to miss 17 games for whatever reasons you need to miss them, whether that be injury, load management, whatever. Because I agreed with some of the people though that said that like those load management days should count against you. Like when it comes to this trophy shit, you shouldn't be able to intentionally sit out 17 games of the season where you're healthy and still win an award. Right. Like no matter, because you play well in the other 65. Well, I think there needs to be some kind of trigger for that. But in general, like 65 is fair. 65 to me is fair. Like you shouldn't be missing anything more than 65 games and be considered any kind of candidate for any award. Or more than 17 games. Well, I mean, that is realistic. I feel like that's a reasonable percentage. Like, you have to attend X amount of your classes in order to be able to pass. Yep. Like this is rudimentary, folks. This is not a new concept here. No, it's not, and that's why. It's because a one-off, once every blue moon it happens that somebody's, I mean, I hate it for him, but it's not a reason. It's the fucking to adjust the whole thing. 0.01% of voter fraud. So now let's make a bill to deal with a problem that we don't have. That's what's going on here. This isn't generally a problem. It happens to be a problem once in a blue moon. But that's the problem for the player, not everybody else. Everyone else has had to abide by that rule. So fuck off. Yep. Like, no offense to Cade Cunningham, but too bad, so sad, bro. Like, it's gonna sound that's gonna sound so jacked up to people who are fans of the Pistons or fans of Cade Cunningham. Look, if Cade Cunningham is the beast that he showed us he could be this year prior to the injury, he will be in the MVP conversation next year. Wow. He will be in. He's young. It's not his last year, and even if it was, it's too bad, so sad, boss. You missed too many games to qualify for the award. Sorry about your luck. And like, does it suck? Yeah, but it isn't like 5 games either. Right. Like it's a reasonable. If it was like if the requirement was that you had to complete 95% of the games to qualify for an award, I might be like, oh, okay, come on now, man. Like, especially if you're going to count. It's not. I mean, it's just shy of 80%. Yep. Like, that's reasonable. Yep. You're just like, meaning you are the like most valuable person. How valuable if you're sitting at home?
And I've always said, I don't care how valuable you are when you're on the court. It doesn't devalue you as a player, but it should impact the thought process of what. And no, LeBron fans, I'm not going to concede that this somehow diminishes Jordan that they won 55 games without him. But if your team goes on to a 1 seed in the playoff and you miss 40 games out of the season, no matter how well you played during those other 42 games, I don't necessarily see you as the most important player on the team. Obviously, there are other important players that were able to help.
Because you played one more game than half?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean,
so
your team still got there despite whatever.
Yep. And so, yeah, like we just need to, all right. So next thing up is we know it's Heather's favorite topic. The Los Angeles Lakers just recently had their 9-game win streak snapped by the Detroit Pistons. They still sit as a 3 seed. I do not see them catching the Spurs. I think that this squad has the potential to be great, but I don't think that they will be any greater than maybe making it out of the second round. If they're lucky, they may make it to the conference championship. And at any point, if they run into Oklahoma City, they're toast. I just don't think this Lakers squad has what it takes to beat an OKC. So in a 7-game series. So I think the Spurs do, but the Lakers don't. And if the Spurs do, I definitely don't think the Lakers have what it takes to beat the Spurs. Sorry. But what are your thoughts on that top 3 and who is most likely to make it to the finals? Are we looking at a repeat from the Thunder? Not Luka. Okay, so we've eliminated the Lakers. So between the Spurs and the Thunder, who you looking at?
I mean, I think we may be looking at that at the end of the day.
The conference championship. Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
And that's a hard one. Because I feel in some ways that the Spurs are this year where we kind of felt like Oklahoma was last year.
Gotcha.
Or the year before. Right? Yeah. And so I'm not sure. And what then puts Oklahoma over the edge on that is coming off of a championship, now having some experience under their belt, a drive to kind of go out there and prove it wasn't a fluke kind of thing. So, I mean, honestly, at this point, I think when it comes down to it between Oklahoma and San Antonio, it's Oklahoma.
It's yeah, and I'm right there with you. It's a coin flip for me. It wouldn't surprise me if either one made it to the finals. I could see Oklahoma getting back there and repeating. They have just as good of a squad as they did last year, and the Spurs seem to have the Oklahoma City's number based on their regular season battles. So, like I said, we could see it go either way. But we were talking about the Celtics before, and they have one of the top injury concerns, as after being without Jason Tatum for 3/4 of the season, they've been without Jaylen Brown for the last couple of games due to Achilles tendonitis. This is what cracks me up. Why does it feel like Jaylen was like, as soon as Jason Tatum came back, Jaylen was like, all right, you good? All right, I've been carrying this shit for too long. My back needs to rest. I'm going to go sit down for a minute, all right? You hold it together till I get back. I got us this far. Because this injury kind of comes up right after Jason Tatum makes his big comeback. I think we just discussed that like 3 weeks ago. And so
he's like, bro, I need a break. I'm gonna catch a breather for a second. Right? I'm gonna rest my legs a little bit. You take over. I mean, it makes sense though, is it's a way of getting him back up to speed before it's really needed, so he can get his legs under him before it's really needed. I'm not surprised, honestly, at all. I think it's actually, I'd be more surprised if it wasn't like this right now.
That team is going to be one that we are going to have to keep an eye on for sure. All right. So MLB started their season this week. I'll say, and nothing really special. Toronto set a new Major League Baseball record by recording 50 strikeouts in a season-opening 3-game sweep of the A's. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Giants got swept by the Yankees too, so
Yeah. And both teams are really supposed to suck this year, so like I'm not much as, but at least San Francisco has that interesting story going on about the guy that they hired as their head coach. The guy they hired him straight out of Tennessee, was it? They hired him straight out of a college, like he was coaching Tennessee last year in the World Series of baseball, or not World Series, but the the College World Series.
College World Series.
Yeah. And so then the Giants hired him. Like it was one of the first times that a Major League Baseball team directly went to the minor or to the college ranks and hired a coach.
Well, I mean, they make questionable baseball decisions lately anyways, so that's not really much to be said. Like my husband keeps screaming, someone please sell the team so that they'll actually do something, because his baseball season isn't as fun when the Giants suck, because part of his joy comes from demoralizing them, but demoralizing them well. It's not fun to kick the kid when they're down.
Oh man. Said proudly as a Dodgers fan. and very well as I could just see it being said.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's kind of sick of that team right now being the Padres. Yeah. So he's like, and he tells I think we talked about this last week. He says it the last 2 years. He said it to my best friend. I'm going to need your team to do better this year.
Get you together.
Yes.
This shit ain't fun. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'll say. All right. So the last subject of the night in the other sports thing is this. Tiger Woods, y'all.
Oh, dear God, man. Uber, Lyft. You're rich enough to have a 24/7, and we know
driver,
he wasn't drinking, so we know he wasn't drinking. But between medications, like he's coming off of a surgery and injury, and dude, bro, like in the Land Rover, it's always the Land Rover. Like, bro, just hire a driver.
We have had this conversation on West Coast Bias. We've had this conversation on early episodes of The Classroom, and now we're having it again here. And we've had it multiple times here. I do not and will not ever understand why somebody of any affluent nature drives themselves anywhere.
Power and control issues.
Like I get it.
They're above it.
You make enough money now, and everybody delivers. Amazon, Walmart, Safeway, everybody delivers. So there's not really anything you can't get.
It was also like 2:00 in the fucking afternoon. When I first read it, I was of the assumption, I'm thinking in my head, it's in the middle of the night. No, It was in the middle of the damn day. He's just lucky that there wasn't another car coming in the other direction. We're talking a lot of shit right now, and we're kind of joking, but not joking about this. But he got lucky on multiple levels, because him and whoever would have been in the other vehicle would have been dead.
Yeah.
And you have the right to take your own life into your own hands, but you do not have the right to put someone else's life at risk. And when people drive under the influence, it's not usually them that dies.
Yeah.
Fucking 100%. Piece of shit.
Like it's
the entitlement.
I just don't, like I said, I will never, ever, ever understand that. if I had millions of dollars in the bank, I doubt I would drive myself. Like at least nowhere.
Drive
Like,
at all, let alone when
like,
I'm.
Yeah, like if I like when it came to being intoxicated, like I partake in the
Or
greenery from
here's the
time to
other
time.
thing,
And,
dude. Invest yourself in with a self-driving Tesla. I mean,
if anything, yes, yes. Like, but it's just I don't get it. I don't get the having money and still making stupid decisions. Henry Ruggs is another one of those ones from the Raiders. Like, I
and
just
that's
don't get
one
it.
where someone and their dog died.
Yeah,
And she
Yeah.
wasn't dead on impact either.
it's just
Like, and
Uh,
for something that could be completely avoided.
completely. And let me see. There was one last thing that I want to check. I just got to verify.
Okay, while you
Yep.
do that, I'll bring up the women's. Congratulations to at WNBA women's basketball because
Oh,
their
yes,
minimum
yes.
salary went from like 60 grand to like 270.
Yep. Because they what is it? Their salary cap for the teams went up from like
Yep.
1 point
And
something million to
they,
7 million.
they finally cleared enough money to give out dividends this year.
Nice. That means they're
So,
making
like,
money.
congratulations, women's basketball. This is,
Yep.
and that's just the minimum. Like,
Yeah.
we're, and that's amazing. It may not sound like very much compared to the men's basketball minimum, $1 million, but
Yeah.
going from $60,000 a year to that, like, that's, I don't have to go play basketball overseas now, money, unless I want to. Like, now
Yep.
it's a total because I want to and not
It's a
because I
choice.
have to. And
Right.
that's amazing too, because that's longevity there. That's
Mhm.
being able to play much longer because
And much
you're
more.
getting time off.
Yep.
These
And
men
getting
want
that
to
competitive.
complain about 65 fucking games.
No shit. No, 100%. I'm right there with you. Congratulations to the ladies. They earned it. One of the Agumake sisters was the head of the Players Association, and she brokered the deal very well. Took care of her girls. There were some that pushed back against her and wanted her to accept an earlier deal, and she said, "No, we can get better." And then she went out and got them better. So
You
congratulations to
gotta
her.
love that.
Yep.
No, I'm not good with that. And I know you can do better. Do better.
Do better, exactly. And then on the last note, a sad note, Barrett Robbins, for those of you who don't remember him from the 2003 Super Bowl, was the starting center for the Las Vegas Raiders and had a small incident that involved him.
No, it was the Oakland Raiders at the time.
Oakland Raiders, sorry, the
Oakland
Oakland
Raiders
Raiders.
at the time. He went missing.
Yes, and he went missing, and where they found him was not pleasant, but he eventually got his life back. But unfortunately, he passed away this past week at the age of it's 4 more years older than me, so 52, 53. Yeah. He died in his sleep at the age of 52. So
Yeah. That's the other part that's kind of hard depending. I mean, we don't know what caused it, but even that's the part is even when people turn their life around, right? Often the effects and the harm that happened and was caused to their body. I mean, I hope that also he's another one of them that they do the brain testing and stuff like that on. Because I'm thinking that's part of what we were seeing at the time, on top of what was already probably a predisposition for some mental health issues. So Scatabo, CTE does exist, fucker. I think you muted yourself again.
Nope, that was the same mic that I used for Cheap Pop earlier.
Oh,
So
it died.
It died on me.
Okay. It's telling
I
you
try not to use the same mics for.
Sir, you have talked too much today.
I'll say so. Yeah, it's good. It served its purpose for today. But yeah, and you know, it's like I said, Cam Scatterboo. Just trust me, bro. Those words are gonna haunt you till you're done and out the league, because the way your style of football that you play, you're the last person that should have been making that statement. But people say what they say, right? So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for us for this week. It has been another wonderful episode with Miss O'Malley. We will be back next week, hopefully with Mr. Schwab again on his every other week rotation, and to talk more March Madness as we get to the Final Four and championship game, and also to talk more championship games in both leagues. And we talk more NBA and, well, other sports. But that'll do it for us. O'Malley, going ahead and take us home.
Fuck LeBron. Fuck you.
Bing.
Fuck your son. Fuck Jeannie Buss. Fuck the Lakers. Fuck Luka. Yeah. But number one, fuck LeBron.
There you go. All right. So be sure to join us next week for more of this. And be sure to join me on Tuesdays. Next time you'll see my face playing some college football 26 on YouTube and on Twitch. This has been Le Classroom. We are out. Peace.